to another edition, a new week of Monday Night Football, week number 3. And we saw quite a bit of games this past week.
The one. What week is it?
This is El Clásico week.
So Clásico week, people. Get excited. But before we can get to that,
we had some big games this past week.
games.
Games.
We had some fun games.
We had some Northwest TDA, a very exciting game.
Yeah.
Had the first.
For the nonpartisan person, that was a wild game to enjoy. I had people, I had one, Jason Longshore, voice of Atlanta United, messaging and be like, what is going on in that game?
Well, we've got, there's some controversial things that happened in that game, and we've got highlights to show. So if we can go to the Off the Link scoreboard, definitely want to discuss all the games that we have. On Tuesday, we had Dalton and Coahulla Creek. Dalton boys with a 5-0 win over Coahulla. The girls, Dalton girls over 4-1. You had North Murray, man, putting out 19 goals, tied over Haralson County. The boys 9-3 and the girls with a 10-0 win. Southeast, I was at this game. I didn't make it to the girls game, but the Southeast both victorious over Calhoun. Girls 5-0, and the boys with a 7-1 win. And then you had the nightcapper Northwest boys over Sprayberry 6. Oh, I don't think it was 6-1.
I know that seems high.
It's high. Let me double check that.
Let's go to the next page. All right, and then also following week we had.
I think I wrote it wrong, so that's technical error on me.
Okay, so what's that? You don't think that's the score? Though?
I don't think so. So
all right, and Color Creek was busy last week. They had 3 games last week. So Color Creek boys 2, Calhoun 1. Creek girls were 2-0 over Dade. Murray coming up just a little bit short to Gilmer. I really thought that was a game, talked to Burgueño. They really should have had that one. Same thing with the girls. The girls were up 2-0 over Gilmer. Let it slip away 3-2. And then Dalton girls
big win down at Kennesaw Mountain.
Squeaking out the win against Kennesaw Mountain, that's right. And then Dalton Academy. That score is definitely not right. They shook the the boys' score, I think, was 8-0 on that one. Oh, that's Dalton Academy.
No, that's Dalton Academy.
Dalton Academy, that's right.
Girls, that's correct.
That's the girls, 3-3.
Yeah, that's
correct.
So
good result for Academy.
Then Friday.
Look, I'm starting to doubt our own results.
No. And then Friday we had Coahulla Creek tying Coosa 3-3. Kind of a shocking scoreline, if to be honest. The girls going up 4-2 over Coosa. Southeast going down to East Side, down in the Atlanta area, and the boys come out with a 5-1 win. Girls with a 0-0 tie. North Murray over Rockmart, 8-0 on both sides. Dalton went down to Vestavia Hills, and they played 2 games on Friday and Saturday at a tournament down there, beating LaGrange 4-0 on Friday. Then Northwest girls playing Alatoona, which we said this would be a measuring stick because Alatoona already played Dalton, beat them 3-0, so they beat them 2-0.
So apparently Alatoona is pretty good.
And then Dalton boys ended up with a 3-0 win over Fort Payne on Saturday. But, I mean, as mentioned, we've got a lot. So we're going to go into some Coahulla Creek Dalton girls highlights from this past week.
Yeah, I caught the second half of this game, and it was one of those that I was shocked when I got there. I saw the score was 1-1. I think we just got maybe a couple of highlights from that. Yeah, it was 1-1 at halftime, kind of an eye-opener. And then late, with probably about 10 minutes to go, Dalton pulled away and scored like 3 unanswered and made it 4-1. And the goal had been coming, it seemed like, I believe this is the boys.
Oh, this is the boys,
This is the boys. And but the girls went up. And like I said, they really put it on them with about 10 minutes to go, made it 4-1. And made the scoreline look a lot worse than it was. Color Creek put up a good fight. Natalie Brio had a goal early in the game. And like I said, that was the equalizer, up until like 10 minutes to go in the game, and then Dalton just poured it on.
You were able to catch up with Coach Almodovar after the game, so we do got an interview with Coach Almodovar.
Hey, this is Todd with Monday Night Football, coming to you from Coahulla Creek with Coach of the Dalton High girls soccer, Coach Josie Almodovar. Coach, on the scoreboard it said 4-1. Tell us, it looked like a little bit of a wilder ride than a 4-1.
Yes, absolutely. Well, first of all, we're going to start off with giving credit to Coahulla Creek's coaches. Shannon's always got them playing tough and solid and organized. And as you can tell, it was 1-1 throughout the game. So that's a little testament of how much Coahulla has grown as a team. And I'm sure Shannon's excited about that. He's going to take that and build off of these close games. And they're going to get better for sure. But
What does coming back say about the character of your? I mean, like, and, going 1-1 late and then like putting 3 goals in. What does that say about the character of this team?
Definitely. I mean, we're definitely building off of that. It's a junior-led team for sure, but we still got to mature as we move forward, and that just, again, is going to help them get over the hump on some of these close games, to not give up, to keep working together, to get over that hump and just that mental lapses that they've had in the game, and just get together and start working as a team to get the win. And tonight proved all that. They kept working, they kept plugging away, and eventually the game opened up. So I'm proud of that.
Well, congratulations! You get the first points in the Soccer City Cup, so you're sitting on top right now. So
Yes.
Congratulations!
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you to Coach Almondova, and that was brought to you by Geiger Law Firm.
Yep.
Thank you for that. So, so that was the first game of the Soccer City Cup for Dalton and Cahulla Creek. So now
I think
Dalton's
we got some
sitting on top.
standings now, right?
Yeah, we got standings, man.
So it's going to look good. See, obviously we know Dalton's been the first. We got to show you standings, and then after that we're going to show you the schedule of the upcoming games.
And also the boys getting that win, that's going to put them at the top of the standings as well, because they got that 5-0 win over Cahulla Creek. And I know it's early, and if you look on our social media page, we do have that schedule, so the games that will count towards Soccer City. So early on, you got Dalton sitting on top on both sides. Coach Almondova talking about bringing up the character of that club. It was a big compliment to the team to be able to kind of stay in the fight and believe that they can win, because they kept pressing Creek and bringing the game to them, and so to come out with a 4-1 win was really impressive. And like I said, I went to the boys. I got to watch the first half of the Cahulla Creek Dalton boys game. Really impressed with Dalton. Just really took the pressure in the game to Creek. Creek did great in the first half, and maybe they could have had a couple of goals themselves in the first half. It just never happened. And then Dalton just poured it on them in the second half, and that's what Dalton does, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're basically 2 teams deep, and if you can't match that depth, then what are you going to do?
Yeah. So we're going to get ready to go to commercial break, but when we come back from the break, as mentioned, we will have the Soccer City standings and schedule. Like I said, we'll begin the next segment with those schedules. So here we're going to go to commercial break, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey,
That's our part.
Experience the power of the links. OptiLink's streaming app VidLink, powered by its fastest internet service, GigLink. Your link to reliable remote access to healthcare. Your link to the best educational opportunities. Your link to our community's only local provider. Your link to the ultimate in entertainment choices and gaming experiences. No interruptions and faster downloads power up your life with the perfect combination of speed and entertainment. VidLink and GigLink. Upgrade today and get the power of the link.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams a reality.
At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
At Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty, we've been serving our community since 1974 with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Ringgold, Cartersville, and Cleveland, Tennessee. We've got you covered.
Welcome back to our second segment of Monday Night Football. And as mentioned, we're going straight in. We have Soccer City standings. These are the boys as of right now. We had one matchup, which was Todd, you were there, Dalton over Cahulla Creek, 5-0. So right now they're in first place.
That
Goal
diff.
differential is
It
going to
matters.
be it matters. It made a difference last year, and it looks like right now it's paying off big dividends. So Dalton up with a win, but +5 on the goal differential.
And we flip over to the girls when
the
you're
girls. And the girls, same thing. They Dalton came out with a win, and they got up +3 on the goal differential. So that's going to be very key. And let's look at the score, because we don't have any games this week for Soccer City schedule, but we do have some games next week, which will be Cahulla at Southeast, and then obviously Dalton and Northwest. So here in the next few weeks, we're going to have quite a few games. The standings will start get a little different, but so far it's looking so good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great graphic.
Yeah, it is. So now, we're going to discuss a little bit of the Southeast Calhoun. The girls went down, or actually Calhoun came up to Southeast, played them at home. It was Southeast's first technically official home game since they were playing at Riverbend Park the previous week.
We got highlights on this one, don't we?
We got highlights on the boys, but the girls came with a 5-0 win. And the boys actually came out with a 7-1 win over Calhoun. We actually do have highlights on that, so if we can pull those up, that'd be great. I was at this game. It started out rather slow. There's only 2 goals in the first half. And then Southeast came on and scored 5 goals in the first 10 minutes of the second half. But from pretty much it was
looks like it was all Southeast.
It's pretty much all Southeast. They controlled the tempo, they controlled the pace.
Opened up the hip, far post.
Your favorite words, opening up the hips.
Oh, yeah, it gets them every time.
So that made it 1-0. Here we go with a little free kick, keeper.
Nothing. You got to do better than that. Oh, half step.
There
nice.
It ain't no white chocolate, but, they still score on a set piece.
Rising like the mighty salmon.
So that was a 2-0. And then Leo Barajas, little shorty Leo, coming in with a 3rd goal right here. Cross.
Leo's a favorite, man. He puts in the work, and there's the payoff for you.
Yeah, and then Diego Ramirez, one of the captains here, he's getting a pass from Jerry. And, oh, man, right there. Made it 4-0. And they did the little arrow shoot like Cuauhtemoc Blanco.
They're playing for fun now.
Yeah, and then Diego Castillo.
I would guess there's some subs in at this time.
No, the subs weren't in there. The subs came in around minute 30. But this goal, and then, it's 6-1. But the next goal is the goal that I'm kind of impressed with. It's
You kind of impressed with? Like, you texted to me almost immediately.
Oh, we don't have it on here. I thought it would be on here, but the 7th goal was by Jairo. He came up from his right wing spot and just took it all the way down. But as mentioned,
we'll get that up on social media, and we'll let you see that one. Of the 7 goals, that's the one we didn't have?
Yeah, that's the one we did. But I was able to catch up with Coach Garcia after the game. He actually gave us a little quick recap of the season so far, so we'll get that interview going here shortly. Thank you to Geiger
Here we are with
Legal
Coach
Group for
Miguel
helping us with this
Garcia,
interview.
the head coach of the Southeast Boys soccer team. They actually had a 7-1 victory over Calhoun today. Coach, just give us your thoughts on this. Is your 3rd game of the season. So far, give us your thoughts on how the season's been so far.
Juan, I'll tell you, I think the boys have fought some really, really intense games. I know we haven't had the opportunity to share this with our community, but even from that scrimmage, it felt like a championship to them. That was one of those things that, we went down there and we were talking with some of the coaches after the game. It's like we couldn't ask for a better scrimmage to start the season with such intensity. Then we get Sprayberry, who is not an easy team. And you guys know that. Sprayberry comes in, they beat us last year. They come in, they're hungry, they want to beat us again. And they start off well. We started off pretty slow, but then the boys come back and they pick it up together. And they end up, coming up with a 2-0 win on that game. We go to Rome. After that game, that was on a Tuesday, we go to Rome on a Friday. And they're ready for us as well, 5A school. They're just, thinking the same thing. We got to, if we can get Southeast and beat them, they go up 1-0 at half. And my boys at halftime says, we ain't going to drop this, And this is a group that I have. This is just a resilient group. They've gone through so much. The senior group has gone through so much over the years, and that's what I was telling before the game today. There's 2 things that identify them. One of them is grit, and the other one is resiliency. and it shows today. I couldn't ask for a better group of seniors and leaders.
Yeah, and it's like I said, today was 7-1 win, a little lighter.
Yeah.
You play East Side Friday, and I know you don't like to look ahead, but then there's a big game looming a week from this upcoming Friday. El Clásico, as we all know it, but obviously us on the sidelines will be talking about it, but I feel like your boys will be prepared. So how do you feel you're going into the East Side game? You don't have no injuries, so how do you feel about this game coming up?
And that's something that, we've been preparing. I mean, I think, again, the schedule hasn't been easy. We haven't played anything below a 5A school. 7A, 6A, 5A, 5A. So we're just taking it, like you're saying, that one game at a time. The boys are getting better. We felt like we have not had a complete game at all until today, and that's something that I told them. We just have to get focused, bring that intensity, just play simple soccer. These boys are great soccer players, and they're good to do that simple things. I think we were just not doing it that much at the beginning of the season, but again, they were giving us good fights. We were just playing some big schools, and the boys came through.
As mentioned, congratulations on the win. Good luck on Friday. And then obviously we'll definitely be seeing you here in about a week and a half. Thank you very much.
Juan.
And thank you to Geiger Law Firm for the coach's interview. Like I said, Coach Garcia pretty much gave us a recap on his season, very in-depth on his conversations.
Good for us. I like that.
As mentioned, they are playing they did play East Side on Friday. The girls as well. The girls tied 0-0. I did catch up with Coach Close during the game, and he said, tell Todd not to put us in the favorite spot because he's going to kill me.
Hey,
so
here's the thing. Like, they've done their part. Coming into El Clásico week, Southeast girls have done their part. Dalton girls have done everybody's done their part to make this a huge game on Friday. Now, Southeast boys not playing a game early in the week. The only game they got is Dalton on Friday. The other three, Dalton girls, Dalton boys, Southeast girls, all have games tomorrow.
Yep.
So, there's distraction there. I look at Dalton going down to Pace Academy. Like, if they're focused on Friday, then Pace is a huge chance to slip up for the boys. So,
regardless,
that's a quality. Plus pace is pace. Okay, and that's a hard game.
Yeah, it's pace,
especially on the girls' side.
Like I said, Southeast boys won 5-1 versus East Side, so they're undefeated right now. They'll be going into the Dalton El Clásico undefeated. The girls have to play one game. The Dalton girls have one loss. Dalton boys have 0 losses, but they also have one more game where they got to play pace. We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
But we will be touching a little bit more at the end of the show regarding El Clásico. But with that, we're getting ready to go to commercial break, and we come back.
Northwest Dalton Academy.
Northwest Dalton Academy highlights. So with that, we're going to go to commercial break.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey, that's our part.
Experience the power of the links. OptiLink's streaming app VidLink, powered by its fastest internet service, GigLink. Your link to reliable remote access to healthcare. Your link to the best educational opportunities. Your link to our community's only local provider. Your link to the ultimate in entertainment choices and gaming experiences. No interruptions and faster downloads power up your life with the perfect combination of speed and entertainment. VidLink and GigLink. Upgrade today and get the power of the link.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams a reality.
At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
At Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty, we've been serving our community since 1974 with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Ringgold, Cartersville, and Cleveland, Tennessee. We've got you covered.
Welcome back to another segment. We're almost halfway through the show, and this is what would normally be called the Roy Alvaron. If it was the Dalton Power Hour, but it's actually the Todd Hudgens segment.
Look, I'm impartial on this one. So we're going to talk about Dalton Academy Northwest last Thursday.
I thought you wanted me to talk more.
I don't care. I'm in it. I'm in it now. All right. So this was one of the as a nonpartisan person, like this game was.
You're not nonpartisan though. You're Northwest Bruins.
I major graduated from Northwest, but it's like it's really hard for me to pull one way or another because anytime it's these local teams, you want to see both do well, and this was a crazy.
Well, this game was a very crazy game. Todd waited on me. I showed up. Northwest score. I said, wait on me. I think 15, 30 seconds in the game, Dalton scores. Dalton Academy scores. They go up 1-0. And next thing you know, Todd and I sit down in the press box and watch the game, and then it goes 2-0. Next thing you know, it's 3-0 at half. So Northwest is shell shocked. So if we can pull up some of those highlights, it'd be great because, this game was.
Hey, this will be our first view of the first goal because Juan was late and I was being a buddy and waiting on him.
So let's see what happened here. Oh, and number 10.
Giveaway in the back. You can't do that.
Punished.
But you know what? That's what a good team does. When somebody gives you something, you punish them. So hats off to
and Dalton Academy came out on fire. They were pressing. They were not giving anything up. This second goal was
a clean finish here.
Boom.
Boop. Dribble in. Yes, sir.
Followed up a shot.
Here's my take. Dalton Academy came out on fire. Their intensity was there. They weren't intimidated at all, and they really came out, just firing against Northwest.
And they played their field. They played the wide spaces.
Yes, they
to
did.
their advantage.
They did, and we saw.
Oh, look at that crossover.
Yeah, that was nice.
Boom. 3-0. And look at that. There's 3 minutes left of the half. Northwest. They look at them. They look out of it.
They were second to every ball in the first half,
yes.
I thought. They had no intensity. They didn't look like they were interested in the game. Things started to change a little in the second half. They started getting a little more active, showing a little spark of life, and they come back and they get one back.
They get one back, and that helped them right away. A little missed clearance there.
Far post finish.
And that's your boy, Nico Kuna, with the goal.
And Nico does Nico stuff.
So, that was, obviously, I think, Academy, they came out pressing. I don't want to say they ran out of gas, but
let's talk about what happened. They have a player sent off that's shown a yellow card.
Correct.
And for everybody and their brother thinks that's his first yellow card. But the referee says it's his second, sends him off.
Yes.
Dalton Academy down 10 men, already down to 10 men right here.
Oh, they didn't bring up the goal. So
you're telling me we get all the Southeast highlights, don't get the good goal, and we got these highlights and did not get the
goal? The
controversial.
So
this is what we're telling.
So, hey, we can only thank the people that bring us the videos in, but. This goal, the third goal was scored with less than a minute and a half in the game. As you can see, the way that Dalton Academy was, or Northwest is attacking, and they come down. Northwest is coming down on the wide left side. They send a cross in. As mentioned, only 2 refs were covering this game, so they're not one ref's at one end, one ref's at the other end. They can't. So it's not like they have the best views of what's going on. The cross came in. The ref saw it from the back end. It came down to a Northwest player. Northwest scored. But what he didn't see, the ball deflected off the bottom of the
football goal.
Yes, and we went back and we were questioned. We went back, saw the footage. So I'm not saying take anything away Northwest at all. The goal scored,
This reeks of conspiracy. We don't have the goal to show to the people.
Yes, and maybe we try to get that goal, but we did see the goal multiple times, and you can see it. Like I said, and then Dalton Academy had another player taken off. But regardless, the game was very intense. First game of the season, and with that, you were able to catch up with Isa Gutierrez after the game. I don't know what his mood was, but if we could pull up that interview you did with Isa and I guess his demeanor will tell us how he felt about the game.
All right, I'm here with Coach Isa Gutierrez, head coach of Northwest Bruins. A wild one here at Dalton Academy tonight. You guys go down 3-0 in the first half. and then come back, tied up 3-3. Tell me a little bit about it.
It's credit to Rory's team. Like I said, ultimately that first half they came out hard. We came out flat. We paid the price. There's teams you don't come out flat against, and that's one of them. They were everywhere in the first half. We couldn't handle it. I mean, we made the right movements at halftime. We were able to come back, but like I said, credit to them. They came out winning it.
What do you think the turning point was in the second half to get you guys kind of like back into the game?
Unfortunately, it was just time. Like I said, I think that the last 10 minutes of the first half there, we were getting going again. Second half, it took us a little bit longer. And like I said, once it was time, once we actually got settled in, we got it going. But once again, it's unfortunate because that's way too long in the game to get play like we want to play.
Do you think the field played any part in the boys getting used to the field a little bit, the width?
No, not really. Like I said, I think every field that we have played on so far has been tough. Unfortunately, we practice on grass field, narrow grass field, but the field, every game we have played so far has been on a turf field, wide. And so, no, I don't think that's the issue there. But like I said,
what do you think the comeback says about the character of your squad?
I mean, I got some hard workers. Like I said, ultimately, they came back. There's 3-3, but they're still not happy. I don't think I'm happy. I think that first half just played is going to be a bad taste in our mouth for a while, but we'll get it going again.
Thanks, Coach Gutierrez. Appreciate it.
And thank you to Geiger Legal Group for that coach's interview. As mentioned, we're not here. We were at the game. We're not here. We're not talking bad about Northwest. Not talking bad about anybody. Like I said, it was a very controversial game. If you were there, it was very intense.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that.
It was a physical match, and here's the thing, and this goes back to what we talked about last year. Sometimes a draw is a win, sometimes a draw is a loss, sometimes a draw is a draw. And, to some of the Northwest fans, that felt like a win because they came back from 3-0. For some of the Dalton Academy fans, it felt like a loss because they let it slip away. So, but at the end of the day, it was a draw. Like, Juan and I were talking about halftime at that game. You scored 3 goals in the first half. You got to remember the other team is probably capable of putting 3 in, especially when they have the talent that Northwest does. So, get credit to Northwest for keeping on battling until the end. And sometimes crazy stuff happens and a ball ricochets off.
And they did. The girls,
post.
like I said, the girls came back, and I said, we had the girls play as well. They played Alatoona, lost 2-0. Then Dalton Northwest played Sprayberry. They beat Sprayberry as well. So I mean, they came back victorious. They came back. Dalton Academy. They like I mentioned, they got a game right now. As soon as I leave from here, I don't know about you, but they got Georgia Tacos out there, which are the best tacos around. So I'm gonna go have me dinner.
Kudos to Academy for having concessions. Yes. And I enjoyed some of the corn.
But I said, this is a learning experience for Dalton Academy. They got to take it. You go up, you got to be able to defend the lead. And Coach Alvarez did say that's something they got, something they can work on. As you can see, Coach Gutierrez was in that. It felt a little bit dejected.
Well, and Coach Gutierrez too and rightfully so, is going to be a bit concerned because he's going to lose Freddie Lar for the season to a broken ankle, and he's going to lose Hayden Adams at least for a couple of weeks to, at a minimum, what was probably a severely sprained.
And those
ankle.
are breaking news, so I had no idea about that. But as you can see, we're about to go to commercial break, and Todd's like freaking Matt Schefter from ESPN breaking news over here. So with that, we're going to commercial break.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Cancillas.
Hey, that's our part.
Experience the power of the links. OptiLink streaming app VidLink, powered by its fastest internet service, GigLink. Your link to reliable remote access to healthcare. Your link to the best educational opportunities. Your link to our community's only local provider. Your link to the ultimate in entertainment choices and gaming experiences. No interruptions and faster downloads power up your life with the perfect combination of speed and entertainment. VidLink and GigLink. Upgrade today and get the power of the link.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams a reality.
At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
At Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty, we've been serving our community since 1974 with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Ringgold, Cartersville, and Cleveland, Tennessee. We've got you covered.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football. Hey, so it's been a busy week. We actually did find the gyro goal, and we're going to show it, so stay tuned. But we're going to go to OptiLink scoreboard first, recap the week's scores, then we're going right into the Soccer City Cup standings.
There we go. So on Tuesday, we had Kahala going down to Dalton, both boys and girls. Boys with 5-0 win, girls with 4-1. North Murray victorious over Harrelson, 9-3 on the boys' side, 10-0 on the girls. Southeast victorious over Calhoun, 5-0 on the girls, 7-1 on. Oh, sorry, it should be 7-1 on the boys, 5-0 on the girls. Northwest up on Sprayberry. That was on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we had Kahala Creek. You know, they split in duties. It looks like they played.
Busy week last week for them.
Yeah, they played Calhoun. They won 2-1. And then the girls won 2-0 over Dade. And then Murray lost to Gilmer 1-0 and 3-2. Yep. Dalton girls playing down in Kennesaw and came back with a 1-0.
Nice result.
Yes, nice result. They dealt with 2 lightning delays during that game. So they got home pretty late.
Nothing like lightning in early February.
They did stop at Buc-ee's on the way back from what I was told. So
yeah, that's 2 wins right there.
And then Dalton Academy 3-3.
Hey, good result, Dalton Academy.
Yes, good result. And this is the Friday results.
It flips.
There we go.
Yep. All right. So Coosa tying up Color.
Surprising.
Yeah, Color Creek. But I talked to Coach about that. It's just that's how things are when you got 3 games in a week, and the girls win 4-2. Southeast 5-1 on the boys' side, 0-0 on the girls' side versus East Side. North Murray rocking Rockmart 8-0 on both sides. Hey, how many goals did North Murray score last week? Like combined, they scored like 45 goals.
16 and 19.
It's a lot. I'm bad at math. Yes. Dalton going to Vestavia Hills Invitational 4-0 over LaGrange, and the Northwest girls dropping 2-0 to Allatoona. And then on Saturday, Dalton getting another win, 3-0 over Fort Payne.
Yes.
So
we did, like I mentioned, we did have that Hyro highlight, so we're going to pull that up a second.
This gets messaged to me like within minutes, I think, of it happening.
Yeah, so here he goes. Hyro's on the right side, like, nope, boom. He makes a defender slit. Ooh.
Yep.
Then he goes, yep. Where are you going? Oh, boom. Can't stop that. And keep in mind, he's a defender. He's a senior. They primed ready for El Clásico this Friday, so we're just giving you a little teaser. Maybe we got some more teasers coming up at the end of the show.
When you got 2 guys on your back line who can shoot from long range, that's good.
And we were able to pull up the Dalton Kahala Creek highlights, so we're going to be rolling with that. Todd, this is a game that you attended.
Yeah, and I guess I can kind of go back to my commentary on this. Hey, kudos to Kahala Creek. It was 2-0 at halftime. Creek was hanging in there. This was a physical match. You had Tony Mendiola in the back, who was really physical. And I thought Zeke did a good job getting free. I don't know if that was his goal. No, went near post on that one. But here's the thing: you can get physical with Dalton, but they're gonna find a way to play around you, play through you. But this is the thing about this team that I've been watching this year. They can get a little physical with you. They're stingy on defense. They don't give up goals. Didn't give up a goal with this game. Didn't give up a goal at the Vestavia Hills tournament. This is a little bit different team than what we were dealing with last year. Nice finish by Zeke there. So, but once again, I go back to Color Creek. They hung in there. I just don't think they had the depth. They had their chances to put a couple of goals away and just didn't capitalize on them. And, Dalton just had a few more chances and tucked them away.
Yeah. It looks like Kahala Creek's got like the whole team playing in the back. You only had 4 players there in the box for Dalton. But like I said, I think the game was a wake-up call. That Vestavia Hills game, I think, was a wake-up call. Yeah. I think they've turned it around. They were down 2-0.
Ooh, that was absolutely ruthless right there, punishing the defender.
But as mentioned, you said they haven't let any goals up, but they were, they were down 2-0 with less than 18 minutes versus Vestavia. Pulled up, scored 3-0, and ever since then they've went on a scoring spree.
But that's a change in character, right? From like what we saw last year and like going up and giving goals and then letting teams get back into games. This is showing a different character from Dalton, from not giving up the goals to come back against Vestavia. Like this team seems mentally tougher. Or maybe there's just, I know that Chiefs was missing some key defensive players last year for a large part of the season. But whatever it is, it's coming together and it's looking strong.
Yeah, so But like I said, so appreciate that. And like I said, they play Pace Academy tomorrow, both the boys and girls. And then El Clásico on Friday at Harmon Field. If it doesn't rain. I'm hoping for rain. Maybe they can get pushed to a bigger field. I'd love to see that game on a bigger field, but we will see.
And I don't know if we talk how much time we got in this.
But we want to we can cover that towards the end.
Well, we
want to give Murray County some love.
Let's give Murray County some love. All right, so Murray, it was a little bit of a rough week last week. They had a 3-2 loss to on the boys' side to Gilmer, and actually. That may have been the girls.
The girls, I think. But, Murray, they're coming back.
Boys lost 1-0. I really thought that was a chance for both of those squads to get
No, the boys did lose 3-2 because you said they were up 2-0, and then they came back.
That was the girls, actually.
Oh,
the girls were up 2-0 and then gave up the goals. And the boys lost 1-0. And Coach Virginia said they just couldn't finish their chances. It wasn't because they didn't have any. Just couldn't finish it. And on the girls' side, it was sloppy field conditions. And they just ended up giving up a couple of goals at the end and ended up losing 3-2. So, you know what? My message is keep grinding over there. Results are going to come. Do it again this week.
And then North Murray, they slowly but surely, they come back in. And both boys and girls, they scored, 19 goals on Tuesday.
I was about to get out the calculator because the goal count's ridiculous.
Well, it was 19 and 16, so they scored 35 goals in 1 week.
That's one of those times you'd like to – I'm sure if you talk to Coach Chambers and Coach Ambers, they'd like to, bag a few of those goals and get them to go for the next game. Maybe just score 4 today and 4 next week.
Sorry, I take that back. It was 18 and so it was actually 36 goals that they scored last week. But you get it. It was over 37 goals between both. And
Southeast Education.
Southeast Education coming in play. But they're coming back.
I'm smart enough to use a calculator.
Well, bring it up then. But they're slowly coming back. Obviously all these games are going to make them better for region. As they get in the region play, as like I said, we're going to here in the last segment, we'll bring up the score. As we discuss it, we'll bring up the score. The upcoming games this week. There's some big games.
The only thing I want to touch base on the Northwest Dalton Academy game was the width of that field. And you said you'd like to see the Dalton Southeast game on a larger field. It made a huge difference in that game, and we felt by watching it that it took Northwest at the first half to adjust to the
first
width.
half and maybe
because
60 minutes before
we would see Northwest give up on balls that on any football field like Northwest High School would be going out of bounds, and there you would see a Dalton Academy player just picking the ball up and running with it. It makes a difference, and so to see the level of talent that Dalton and Southeast have, to see that play out on a full-size field, I'd love to see it. I understand nobody's going to give up that gate, but love to see it.
Hey, but Christian Heritage, we haven't forgot about you. Boyd, Rachel, this is going to be the Christian Heritage episode, so we're getting ready to go to commercial break.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Cancillas.
Hey, that's our part.
Experience the power of the links. OptiLink streaming app VidLink, powered by its fastest internet service, GigLink. Your link to reliable remote access to healthcare. Your link to the best educational opportunities. Your link to our community's only local provider. Your link to the ultimate in entertainment choices and gaming experiences. No interruptions and faster downloads power up your life with the perfect combination of speed and entertainment. VidLink and GigLink. Upgrade today and get the power of the link.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? What would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams a reality.
At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
At Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty, we've been serving our community since 1974 with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Ringgold, Cartersville, and Cleveland, Tennessee. We've got you covered.
Welcome back to another segment. We're almost done.
Yep, only one segment after this, but this is an important segment because we want to talk about Christian heritage.
The girls, I think they finally got some girls back from the basketball team.
Their first game should be coming up, if I'm not mistaken.
They've had to postpone a lot of games due to the fact that half the team plays basketball. With it being a small school, how it makes a little difference. But surprising, the boys.
Is it really surprising?
I mean, Coach Boyd has got them playing ball this year. She had them playing ball last year. But this year, they're clicking. They're undefeated, I think, so far in the season. They've been scoring goals. They tied Dalton. They beat Dalton Academy in the very first game.
That's what I was about. That's what I was about. Oh, scrimmages don't count.
It's a scrimmage game.
Scrimmages don't count. Remember?
There's some coaches that say they don't count. I'm not saying.
Well, they don't count for a record, but we know what happened. So, but anyway, and we get to see that play. We get to see that game play out again in regular season. So don't worry. So they go up to LFO this week, or was it?
It was last week.
Was it at LFO or was it at? It looks like it was. Either way, they played LFO.
We got some highlights though. If you can pull up those highlights, we can definitely see it. Oh, this is at Chris Heritage.
Oh yeah, easy away there.
Oh,
upper corner. Nice.
Is that Aristegui? However you say his name.
Marco Aristegui?
Yeah, there we go.
I don't think so.
Ooh. There's a couple of goals. Now, keep in mind, this was an 8-0 win for Christian Heritage. And as we said earlier, they are currently undefeated. They're playing a tough out-of-region schedule. And to be honest, I thought about this and I looked at it. I think the way they're playing right now, and I hate to say this because I don't want to put pressure on it. I don't think they watch the show, but Class A is divided up in two classifications. You have low A and high A. Dalton Academy is in high A. Christian Heritage is in low A. The way Christian Heritage is playing right now, I would say they'd be the favorite to win the Class A championship.
Well, I think without a doubt they have the potential to make a deep run into the playoffs. Coach Boyd's got them playing really well, scoring goals for fun. Like I said, win 8-0 over LFO this week. Great result. Coming up this week, they got Tryon. If you remember anything about the Tryon game last year, it was just one to forget for Christian Heritage. So they're going to really want to avenge that. So we'll see what happens if they bounce back from that. But, yeah, you're right. I think if you look at the way they're playing, if you look at the level of competition in that low A, you look at the result, you hate to do it, and we can revisit this because we're going to have a regular season game versus TDA coming up. But, you hate to do the comparison thing, but they were able to beat TDA 3-2 in a preseason game. You look at how TDA came out and played against a 4A squad like Northwest, and you start with, this is going to be a really, really difficult team to face in the playoffs. And I think you're right. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on them, but at the same time, I think they're expected to make a deep run.
Like I said, I wouldn't call them my surprise team, but
she lost very little talent off that squad last year, and she added some impact players.
Yeah, she got Pridgeon, who's a Winthrop signee. She has
congrats to that.
So there's some skills and talent there, and they're just like I said. We'll see. Later on when they play Dalton Academy, I think they beat Heritage earlier already. So they've been playing some tough teams. So, but it's very, like I said, we want to give them, as they say now in the podcast world, we want to give them their flowers. Means flowers. Respect.
They say that.
Yes, flowers.
I've never even heard this.
Flowers. Look it up. Look it up on.
I do a podcast, and maybe that's why my podcast isn't any good. I don't use the term flowers.
But obviously, and then, I hate to touch on the subject again, but, it's because Dalton played so many games last week.
Yeah.
Boys, they went down to Vestavia Hills. We don't have no highlights because they weren't actually playing at Vestavia Hills. They were playing in a soccer complex down in good old Birmingham area. So, but Dalton, in the last few years that they've gone down to play in this tournament, they played a tough LaGrange team that's in 4A. Southeast played LaGrange last year in the state playoffs. And they beat LaGrange pretty handily 5-0 or 4-0. Then they played Fort Payne, who's always in the past. It was either the Dalton Vestavia Hills game that was a very entertaining game, and then after that it became Dalton Fort Payne. Like it was always either a 0-0 tie going to PKs, Fort Payne winning to PKs, Dalton winning. It was one of those games because both similar matches, but Dalton come out with a 3-0 victory. as mentioned, they've come out firing on since that Vestavia Hills game.
So-
It's like they've turned it
So
around.
let's just talk about last week for Dalton. They go out to Color Creek. They get a 5-0 win.
Girls get a 4-1
Get
win.
a 4-1 win. And then the boys go to this tournament. So they had 3 games last week. All 3 games were shutouts. The closest game was 3-0. So combined score, I think, let's see, 5, 4, 9, 12-0. I mean, I went to Northwest, but I can add okay. So 12-0, and I think Coach Shees will be most impressed by the 0, not giving up any goals, because I know a strong back line that's going to take you deep into state and be kind of the goals are always going to be there. We've talked about that, but it's not giving up the goals. That's
And like I said, I know. So I mean, Dalton. I mean, it's just so much. I think they're going to come back. Like I said, I'm looking forward to see what they do against both teams to do against Pace Academy tomorrow. The game will be in Atlanta, so definitely not making that trip down there.
Yeah,
but a big one on Friday. I do want to touch a little bit on the girls. You know, we're not forgetting about the Northwest girls. Amanda Clark. I'm not forgetting about you and the twins, the Clarks. Just we have no footage to show, but I know that you
have no footage.
If we can get some footage of the girls' games, we'd definitely like to highlight that. And I'm just going to point this out there. I know you haven't. Eastside had a busy week last week. You know, he had a game like almost every week.
Yeah, not playing at the same school either.
They're not playing between the boys and the girls. Yeah. I think this week is going to be the next few weeks. It sets up for them the same way.
Yeah, they had a nice win versus Sprayberry, and then they go against a really strong Allatoona team, which, you know, now Allatoona has beaten Dalton. They've beaten Northwest. So this is a really good side. So I don't. That's a tough one to measure. But here's the thing. I think it's important that Northwest find a W and find it soon. And I was trying to see
for the boys or the girls.
For the girls, because losing to Allatoona, and it's just kind of been a little bit of a rough start. I did this last year. I got worried early. You guys came back and proved me wrong, so that's what I want to happen this year.
Oh, they play Rome.
I'm worried a little early, so I need you to score some goals. You got Rome this week.
They play Rome on Friday.
So go ahead and take Rome out and
they play them on different days for some reason. I don't know why. But it looks like the boys play Rome, and you'll see on the scoreboard they play them on Thursday, then the girls play on Friday. But like I said, we're definitely going to see what they have. We're pushing for them. And with that, we're getting ready to close this segment, and then we're going to have the outro segment. We're going to discuss all these upcoming games that we've got. We're going to discuss the schedule, and we're going to hit on El Clásico. We may have Todd may have pulled up some footage from last year.
Throwback?
A throwback, maybe.
I don't know.
For this is going to be the Roy Alvaron when we left him on here by himself. So, Roy, this next clip is going to be dedicated to you. And with that, we're going to commercial break.
Wish you were here.
Growing up, we moved around a bunch. My dad was a doctor, and we wound up moving to a bunch of different states. And you really get a glimpse moving around a lot to see how a lot of people are struggling. And there was a big draw inside me to kind of help those people during difficult times. I had no intention of being a lawyer. I had a forestry degree, and I wound up teaching environmental education, but it was the environmental justice that really drew me to the law. So I wound up joining an employment law firm out in Denver. When I was working in Denver, I was also doing trial advocacy, and Casey Geiger, he was on the trial advocacy team. So we got to know each other that way. We stayed in touch throughout the years until eventually we decided to join together. I think the culture of a firm is important, and at Geiger Legal Group, we certainly have a very good firm culture. When the firm culture is one of family, that encompasses the clients. The whole reason for the firm are our clients, and treating them like family is just a natural extension. Whether it's my immediate family or whether it's the family of clients that we help, I try to approach it in the same way, which is respect and caring towards those people. These are people who are coming to you at the worst times in their lives. Whether it's a small case or a catastrophic case, I'm going to put the same effort in for each client to make sure they get the best result that they possibly can. I think of the law as a service industry. We really are a service industry, and that we're here to serve our clients. It's not the other way around. And I would hope that each client leaves our representation understanding and really appreciating that. For anyone who's struggling with issues at their workplace or personal injuries, I urge you to call Geiger Legal Group.
Welcome back to the final segment of Monday Night Football. Hey, turns out we do have those Dalton highlights.
Well, highlight.
Thanks
to Mama Ortiz.
Who's Mama Ortiz?
That's Zeke's mama.
If you clip the audio, you know whose mama it
Zeke
is.
Mama. That's the only people. That's the only
Thanks,
highlights
Mama
we get. We have not got any Dalton highlights from a full game as of yet this season, but we do have that highlight. So if we can pull that up, we don't want to let them know.
Mama Ortiz, you keep that camera rolling.
Right here.
Little dippy deuce, slides a pass.
Yes.
Nice, right back across the keeper. Oh, and the keeper throws a tantrum. That's always good. Hey, I don't put that on social media and run it over and over.
But with that said, let's go in. We want to bring up the Soccer City rankings again so we see where they're at. As you can see, here we are, boys. Dalton up
+5.
Puts
pressure immediately on whoever's going to catch them. You got to catch that +5 goal diff.
And then girls, we have Dalton up with a +3.
Yeah, that's a strong start for them.
And then future schedules of Dalton, the Soccer City Cup we have right here. Big matchup coming up the 24th, Kahala at Southeast. And then after that, you have Dalton at Northwest. So that one will be, we'll see if Dalton goes up, how far they go up, or they don't go up. Does Northwest come back? So we'll see. But let's go ahead and bring up the OptiLink scoreboard, OptiLink schedule for. So we got some big games this week. So I mean, Todd, is there one game you're looking forward to?
Of course, there's one game we're looking forward to this week.
The schedule's a little light, but is there one game
let's skip that one game and let's just see if there's anything else. So tonight we have Dalton
I'm going to be
Academy versus
intrigued.
Chattooga.
Yeah.
You're going to that game, so you'll be able to tell us all about it. Dalton Pace tomorrow. Here's the thing, and we talked about it earlier. Dalton has Pace Academy, girls and boys. That's going down tomorrow night. And here's the thing. Are they going to be able to stay focused with El Clasico coming up on Friday? Wait and see.
So here we go. This is the games that we got scheduled tomorrow. So today we actually have playing Dalton Academy versus Chattooga. This is at TDA. Then we have Coahulla Creek playing Pickens County. So we'll be able to
Creek's going to take it to Pickens, mark my words.
And then tomorrow we have Dalton going down to Pace Academy. We have Christian Heritage playing Ridgeland at Ridgeland. You got North Murray playing at Fannin. Northwest playing at Sprayberry boys. So that was a girls highlight that was scored. So the Sprayberry boys, will see how Northwest does this week. Southeast beat them 2-1 earlier.
It's going to be tough. Northwest is going to be down a couple of players in that game.
And then Southeast plays at Rome girls. So it's going to be interesting. That's on Tuesday. Now, Thursday, you've got Murray County going down to Fannin. This is both boys and girls.
Hear me, Murray. I need 2 dubs right there. Bring me home 2 dubs.
And then Christian Heritage, you hit on this game earlier. Christian Heritage playing Tryon. And this will be at home at Christian Heritage.
This will be a good test for Christian Heritage, I think.
That may be a game that we may have to go check out.
A little bit of revenge from last year.
And then a big game, Northwest boys going down to Rome. So, that's going to be another barometer. Southeast already played Rome. They beat them, so we'll see how that goes. Now, Friday's schedule. Dalton Academy going down to Pepperell.
I know nothing about Pepperell. I will not act like I do.
It's a Rome school. Then you got North Murray going to Model. Kahala Creek playing Cass. Northwest girls playing Rome Friday night. And then, saving the best for last, New York Times did an article last year. So, it's known as the best game in the state, or one of the best games in the state. Cross-county rivals Southeast going to Harmon Field Friday night.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one. And I will tell you, I did notice that over in Gainesville, they're trying to steal El Clasico, Johnson versus
Gainesville. They're trying to get El Clasico.
Nice try.
There's Cobb County that's trying to take Soccer Town.
We get what you're trying to do, but nice try.
Well, and then Cobb County trying to say they Soccer Town or Soccer County USA.
I don't know.
So
it's laughable.
But
it's weak.
Like I said, one game, we know what the game is, but what game other than the Dalton South?
My eyes on Christian Heritage trying, but also how Dalton handles Pace tomorrow, girls and boys, and also Southeast has the Rome girls. I want to see what happens and how that plays out. Are they going to overlook their games early in the week? Southeast boys, their next game. Friday night, El Clasico, one game this week. I don't know if that's design or by accident. But.
So since you already did Dalton Academy or Dalton versus Pace, and I'm going to go with Northwest boys at Rome on Thursday, and then Northwest versus Rome girls on Friday at home. So
that's a big one for the girls.
It's a big one. So it's going to see where the girls stand. But as mentioned, we are talking about El Clásico, and I think we have something for Roy Alvaron in regards to El Clásico.
Yep.
So if our wonderful
Cue that clip. Cue that clip and send me an angel.
Wow, send me an angel. I like that.
Yeah. If I could have some music dubbed in here, I certainly would. So this will take us back to last year. We are Southeast is down 3-2 with under a minute to go. Free kick given away from what do we officially call this? 40, 38?
30. Well, there's the 30-yard line over there. So I would say this is
pushing 40.
35 yards
Yeah,
out.
because the goal's pushed out a little bit.
Yeah, so I'd say about 35 yards out.
You don't have to worry about the ball deflecting off the field goal at Harmon. It sits out a little too far for that.
Yeah, so if you look at it, this is the last bit of the game. You can see right here, look at the Dalton crowd ready to erupt because they're thinking it's a victory. And then that whole crowd was already leaving.
Can we just compliment the camera guy on this? With
yeah.
all the excitement going on, just a steady hand.
And what
right
happens?
here.
Send me a
rocket.
Wow.
A rocket. So, and here's the thing, man. That was a beautiful moment, beautiful goal if you're a Southeast fan. But if you remember, it was just, in the previous iteration of that, it was basically Dalton doing the same thing to Southeast.
At Southeast, correct.
Right. So we could be rolling this highlight on the opposite. But we didn't have that. So this is what.
So
we got.
this is, like I said, the reason this is a big game, guys, is because the last 2 years there's not been a winner.
Yes.
There's not been a
four
winner.
draws in a row.
There's not been a winner since an outright winner. I don't think since 2019.
And are you convinced we'll get a winner this year in this game?
I think we will. I think we will.
I'm not convinced of that because I've looked at these two squads and I think they're extremely evenly matched. I think when you look at them, I went over and over about Dalton, how I think this is a different team than last year. And then I look at Southeast, and Southeast looks, more refined than they did last year. So I look at this, and I really see this as a push. Like, does it tip the hat, because it's, at Harmon? Does this tip the favor to Dalton? I'm not so sure. I don't think so. No more than it tips the scales to Southeast to play at Southeast.
And like I said, the girls' game is going to be extra juicy and spicy as well.
I am really excited about the girls' match in this one.
And I think my girl, I'm not calling her my girl, but my Leslie Alanice, not my girl, but the home girl, because if you remember, that's the girl that said, Roy, what's the weather like?
Yep.
She's been playing on fire this year, so... But
both girls teams coming in hot, putting in the goals. I'm really excited. To me, they play very similar styles. They both try to play very technical. They try to play nice possession soccer, and so I think this is going to be a great match.
And Coach Almodovar he got a couple of key pieces back. He had a couple of girls that weren't able to play the first 2 games of the season due to some minor infractions that happened last year at the last game. Mm-hmm. So he's able to get those two, his forward and one of his defenders back. Has made a difference. Obviously, as they went down to Kennesaw Mount. So this game, I feel like this is going to be very intense as well. As Lane Kiffin says, bring your popcorn. Get ready to eat some popcorn right before the Alabama game, because there's going to be some fireworks. Either way, out of all the games, we don't want to give one game better than another, but if you're from this area, this is the game that gets the most publicity.
It is.
And it gets the most hype because you have 2,000 to 3,000
It's
people.
the environment that's created,
Yes.
right? It's not that it's anything else. It's the environment that's created by the two fan bases and the community showing up and making it what it is. So, hey, we encourage you. You know what, Northwest? If you want to make Northwest Southeast a big deal, show up. Blow the just like
you said, it's the family.
Put a couple thousand in there.
You also got to say there's 9 state titles in between these teams. There's probably 12 or 13 state championship games between these two teams.
And once again, to me, it calls out to it's a shame that we can't see both of these guys in the same classification. And I know they would battle over the state championship, but the idea of the Southeast girls and Dalton girls being in the same region and the Dalton and Southeast boys, that would just add to what this environment is. And this is quintessential, the best soccer around.
And with that being said, we are ending this segment of Monday Night Football. Get ready to go out, support all your local teams. And with that, stay tuned to see what happens this week or next week with the games. See you till next week.